and their team. Thank you for hosting us today. And we're so excited to hear about your project in a little bit. We're looking forward to the details you have to share with us. In a little bit, I'll welcome the Secretary of Agriculture, Mike Meg, and after his remarks, we'll welcome Lee Clancy. And the President of Iowa State Dairy Association, he's able to share a few comments with us. And then we'll hear from Jeff Burkhardt directly. He's going to give us an overview about his family creamery, their plans to use the grant for building supply of Iowa dairy products for consumers to enjoy. And lastly, we'll do a quick rundown of the 20 dairy grant projects that we are awarding today. And overall, it's pretty exciting. We received 50 grant applications spanning both on-farm processing projects and labor-saving technology. And of those, the overall budget for this grant is $750,000. The request for the funding, however, far exceeded that. In fact, the eligible grant request moved over $2.6 million. That's about 3.5 times greater than the available funding that we had available to give out. So it definitely shows the demand we need, and this grant is going to be well utilized. So of those requests, that included 7 dairies seeking nearly $350,000 for on-farm processing projects. 44 dairies were seeking more than $2.3 million for labor-saving technology. And 1 dairy even submitted applications for both, which was quite exciting. I wish we had funding for each and every single one of those, but it's a very highly competitive grant. And the quality of the projects, proposals, and applications for this first-time grant, they were outstanding. We were so thrilled with the quality and caliber. So I want to thank each and every one of you who applied. Thank you for submitting an application and for requesting grant funds. The recipients who are receiving funding today, they're committed to completing their projects and to receive their grant reimbursements. The cost-shared grants through Choose Iowa means that the projects have to be completed before the grant funds are given out. And so definitely I'm sure each grantee is very committed to finishing their projects so they can receive their funds. So if you will please join me in welcoming Iowa Secretary of Agriculture, Mike Meg, to share a few words.
Thank you and good morning. Beth, we appreciate your leadership of Choose Iowa. She's doing a great job with our program. And of course, to the Burkhardt family, thank you. It's good to see you all, and Picket Fence for hosting us today. It's been a while since I first visited here, but I felt a very warm welcome and some cold ice cream, I believe, that day as well as we were visiting. So I want to thank you and continue to be impressed with your operation here, and especially what's going to be happening in the years to come. So I was obviously excited to be able to come here today to make this announcement on a beautiful, sunny, not quite, but rain being very important for us, especially as we've been dealing with drought so significantly over the last few years. So, and I think we might have some treats, perhaps. I see coolers in the back of the room, which is always exciting, you know. I get excited about that, but it's great to be here. So before we get to the grants, I did want to mention, obviously, as we are talking dairy and dairy issues today, certainly there's an evolving situation regarding high-path avian influenza and dairy across the country. So out of an abundance of caution, and as we've been talking about the importance of good biosecurity in the dairy space in particular, but really across the spectrum in livestock, we thought out of an abundance of caution that we would not have, unfortunately, the grantees join us today in person. Picket Fence for processing is done here. The cows are actually at another farm nearby, so there aren't cattle on this particular site. But again, out of an abundance of caution, we decided that we would take that precaution today. So that situation continues to evolve, and we're in constant communication with other states, with industry, and with USDA. Our team and our animal industries driven, leading our dairy program at the department, of course, just working together to try to continue to learn and evolve and adjust accordingly. I think it's really important that we continue to drive home the fact that this is certainly an animal health issue, but it is not a human health or a food safety issue. And so that's really, really important that pasteurized milk continues to be very safe, just like it was before. This news broke in the last few weeks, and it remains so today. What we should be thinking about from a production standpoint is biosecurity and really paying attention to those things very closely. So again, anybody who has questions or would like to talk to our team at the Department of Ag, please do reach out, call us. We can put you in contact with our veterinarians and certainly answer your questions. So last month we announced our third year of value-added grants for the Choose Iowa program at a farm near Indianola. And before the legislature authorized this specific Choose Iowa program for dairy innovation last year, dairies were eligible as a part of that program. Both for processing and production assistance through our value-added grant program. Last year, Picket Fence was one of those value-added grantees to increase cheese production. And because of that grant, they purchased a cheese vat and got expanded into more cheese production. And I think your customers have approved, is what I gathered. So with that strong demand and continued opportunity for growth, they again applied for the new Dairy Innovation Grant Program to take the next steps. And so what the Burkharts have done here, and what they've built over many years, is incredibly exciting. And it's the kind of story that we want to continue to see playing out all across the state. And what these grants represent is a state investment in doing just that, helping to grow and expand and find new market opportunities for farm families and businesses all across the state. So these cost share grants will help dairies invest in pasteurization equipment, processing space, packaging, bottling products, robotics, health monitoring, automated feed systems, cleaning assistance, and so much more. And by increasing on-farm dairy processing and incorporating labor-saving technology, we hope that we can continue to see a strong dairy industry across the state body. So the Burkharts are a great example of that and the momentum that we see with local foods and that movement. Of course, as some of you have heard me say many times, Choose Iowa itself is really the result of a convergence of disruptions that we saw in our food supply chain over the last few years. It's the result of inflation hitting families very hard, especially when it comes to groceries and food. It has led producers and consumers to really look at this in new ways and consider how they market things or purchasing decisions. Can I buy local? Can I know more about where my food comes from? Can I shorten the distance between the farm and the fork? Today's producers and farmers are increasingly seeking out creative methods to channel and reach a broader audience of customers. So as a result, consumers are turning to and looking for and searching for those local outlets and the products that they want and need. So this is all driven on, a couple of years ago, there was some survey work that had been done by Gallup in which the finding was that 3 out of 4 Americans are trying to incorporate local into their food purchase decisions. Now I could ask every one of you here what you think local is, and you'd have a different definition, and that's okay. It's your decision, but you think about how would I incorporate local into my purchasing decisions. For me, local is the state of Iowa. I'll take anything in our borders, and for somebody else, it might be even closer to home. So that's where Choose Iowa comes to play. We are excited about growing this signature brand for Iowa-grown, Iowa-made, Iowa-raised products. So we also want to make sure that that is a big tent, a big umbrella that all kinds of producers can fit into. Whether you're doing conventional agriculture or something that's highly specialized, there is a space, there's a place for you to be involved in this. Choose Iowa can fit it all. We can fit everything under that great brand. So I'm excited about what this program is doing today, but what it will do into the future. We're certainly not alone in doing this. Choose Iowa is among 57 state-branded programs across 48 states. And so we've had a good opportunity to look at what others have done, take their learnings, maybe some things they wouldn't have done or they do differently, and be able apply that to Choose Iowa as we're getting it off the ground. But there's a couple of things that we want people to be thinking about. Where could this go? What's the type of thing that we'll start measuring and tracking and be able to show a return on our investment? So, one of the great branded programs out there, Fresh from Florida, launched in 1990. It reaches over 50 million consumers each year. Their logo has 86% brand awareness statewide. And in 2020, the Fresh from Florida program generated a return of investment for $22 for every $1 invested. Now, I'm not just up here giving an advertisement for Florida. I'm telling you that kind of return on the investment is exactly the kind of metric that we will be judging and measuring and tracking the success of Choose Iowa. 9 out of 10 shoppers said that they were more likely to buy a product labeled with Fresh from Florida than they would an identical product without that label. So that's good news. And recently, I was in North Carolina and had a chance to see their state-branded program, Got to Be NC. And I really was amazed at how I just saw it permeate through their agriculture community. You saw the branding everywhere. It was clearly, folks liked that and were drawn to that. And so you could see that people were really connected to that. And we're going to continue to try to replicate those things here. By the way, Beth Romer is a Midwest native. She's a graduate of Iowa State University. We actually brought her back home to the Midwest from North Carolina. So we thought she was doing such a good job. We stole her. No, she and her husband came back this direction. And so she brings just a wealth of experience with a very well-established and well-run program in North Carolina. So clearly, again, those are well-established programs, but the goal of Choose Iowa is the same. We can do the same things. I hope that there's some ag secretary in another state talking about how they're modeling what we're doing with Choose Iowa over time. A highly recognized, sought-after brand that builds on this great reputation and brand that we already have for Iowa agriculture, and to be able to really leverage that. We want to create real value for Choose Iowa members, whether, again, you're a farmer of any kind: dairies, creameries, country stores, farmers markets, restaurants, grocery stores, retailers, farm stands, etc. And we're signing up new members all the time, literally daily. We've got folks reaching out to us, which we love, and we really do want to take advantage of the full suite of marketing assistance and brand awareness that we're working to create. So I would invite you to visit chooseiowa.com. We're constantly, it seems like, launching and relaunching a website because things are changing that fast, and that's good news. So check out chooseiowa.com often. We've got some very, very creative, innovative, smart folks that are doing very interesting things all across the state. And what we're going to do is bring that focused, sustained effort to build that brand and to continue to leverage the brand for Iowa food and agriculture. So I'm very, very, very excited about what's coming. Now I'd like to welcome Lee Mawson, President of the Iowa State Dairy Association, to share a couple of comments. This program that we're implementing today, really, or kicking off today with these first announcements, is in large part due to the efforts of the Dairy Association bringing this forward, working hard to ensure that we can get the legislative support that we needed and have. And we have so much legislative support in both chambers in Des Moines for this type of effort, whether it's the broader Choose Iowa effort or specifically around dairy. So Mawson Dairy is located near Morris, Iowa in Sioux County. It's a 5th generation dairy farm that milks 1,800 Holstein cows, and Lee farms with his 3 sons. So Lee, thanks for being here.
I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Dairymen, we, as president of ISDA, I represent all the dairymen in the state of Iowa, and we worked really hard last year to try and working on this deal to get grants, because I really feel I'd love to see the dairy industry be reinvigorated and be in Iowa for a long time with sustainability. I think we have a great story to tell. And that's really why we're excited to have I'm looking at this as a stepping stone. I hope we can improve on this every year and increase the dairy industry in Iowa. So, and before that, I just want to say thank you for Dairy for hosting us here today. and for all you do. And that's really kind of the offshoot that we had, thinking how can we create a bill to help on-farm processing? How can we create something that dairy farmers throughout the whole state can use through innovation, whatever techniques they're using to submit those, that they can be sustainable in the years ahead. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, Secretary Nag and IDALS for all the work that you did for us, coordinating this and hosting it and getting it off the ground. And first of all, I want to say thank you too for all our senators, legislators, and everyone that voted yes, that got this bill to where it is today. So any that represent and you know who you are. And also I want to say a personal thank you to Mariah, our director from ISDA, and to Jill, lobbyist. And she's a big counterpart too. And who do we need to talk to? Who do we need to do push and shove to find out to get this bill off the ground and get it passed in the state of Iowa legislature? So I'm proud to be part of that and be a dairyman, just like Secretary Nag said. I'm a dairyman from Western Iowa, and we have an ongoing, like I said, I'm proud to say we had Secretary Northey at the farm some years back, and when we had the epoxy task force, whatever, then he came after